Define the Russian equivalent of the English idiom between a rock and a hard place.
People that run their own businesses, they're between a rock and a hard place. If a patient comes in requesting a specific treatment or a specific test, and the doctor doesn't think it's in the patient's best interest, but the patient threatens them with a bad review, what are you left to do?
With respect to cancer and neurodegenerative diseases, we are actually between a rock and a hard place. Because it turns out that cancer cells and, in fact, those infectious organisms, as I just mentioned, are using their survival response to help kill us.
Imagine that a vendor doing business with USDA has offered your family tickets to a concert headlined by the latest teenage sensation. Do you take the tickets and make your 13-year-old daughter happy, but potentially feel obligated to the vendor for future purchases? Or do you refuse the tickets but then face an evening of teenage tears when you get home from work? It can feel like you are caught between a rock and a hard place.
In a difficult situation where you have to choose between two things, both of which are unpleasant.
The sailors got between a rock and a hard place trying to save the boat during the storm. You were really between a rock and a hard place when you had to choose between your career and your relationship.
When the food ran out, they were stuck between a rock and a hard place, starve or eat the dead bodies of their friends.
Идиома используется для описания ситуации, когда кто-то сталкивается с двумя трудными или неприятными выборами или обстоятельствами и должен принять сложное решение.
Say the following phrases in English.
Я бы хотел помочь вам, но я в безвыходном положении.
I'd like to help you, but I am stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Я никак не мог решиться. Я оказался между двух огней.
I couldn't make up my mind. I was caught between a rock and a hard place.
Попытка угодить и моему боссу, и его начальнику ставит меня между молотом и наковальней.
Trying to please both my boss and his supervisor puts me between a rock and a hard place.
Я в безвыходном положении. Я не знаю, что делать.
I'm between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to do.
Мы были между двух огней, пытаясь разрешить эту проблему.
We were between a rock and a hard place in our effort to solve the problem.
Я не могу пойти против кого-либо из обоих своих братьев. Я застрял между двух огней.
I can't go against either of both my brothers. I am stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Наша компания оказалась в безвыходном положении.
Our company was caught between a rock and a hard place.